tested. Most games that Hingis has given up in a set is 2. She saves 2 break points, and here's a chance for Lena. A lot of talk here in Australia about the Chinese women and how they're building toward the Olympics in Beijing in 2008. And this is their star. And she has the lead early as we go down to Luke Jensen.
Thanks, Dick. One of the things that I noticed that I'd never seen before in pro play was that Hingis was sitting there in the warm-up really attacking Lena's backhand, just to seeing the pace of it, the direction of it. Lena hit a couple wide, like hit him late, but I'd never seen a player in a warm-up trying to direct traffic like that and see what's going on. And Lena has a nice back. In that last game, she drove one down the line to open up the court, and then on that break point, drove across court. Very heavy shot off that wing.
Just trying to figure out. They've never played against each other. And I saw Martina a couple days ago. And, well done so far. You're playing great tennis. She says, well, I haven't had to do much. I've just had to get the ball in the court. Well, she has to do a little bit more than just get the ball back today against this Chinese woman who will take it to her. A little bit like a Hingis point.
It was indeed. And of course, the Chinese players studying American success and international stars and developing their own game, and her two-handed backhand certainly is very familiar. And an ace. She played in Sydney prior to this Australian Championship, did Lena, and made it to the semifinals, defeated in a close match by Kim Clijsters. With all the upsets on the women's side, Kim Clijsters and Maria Sharapova, their backing is certainly building, as those are the two women to beat, although Serena Williams, who knows, she seems to be leading 3-love just stepping on the court. And there's a love game for Lena. 2-love. There are the top Chinese players, 4 in the top 80. Those are their world ranking, not seeds. Lena is ranked 16th, seeded 19th.
And they've had a lot of success, not only in singles, but in doubles. Soon and Lee won the gold medal in Athens. That's long. And then last year, Di and Zheng won the Australian Open and Wimbledon.
Ran into Lena just before the match today down in the hallway, and surprised of how big she is. She's a very strong, taller than she may appear on television. She's 5'8".
Yeah, she's a strong girl. Runs well, moves well. Perhaps the volley still a weakness. Not the best technique yet. She relies really on her big ground strokes. I think Hingis will have to venture forward more than she's needed to so far in this tournament. Good out wide serve produces a short shot, and then good instincts to cover the line.
And a love game for Hingis, but it's Lena of China with the early lead.
Ford fans, Mark Sumoff here at Pacifico Ford. What a team, another certified Ford. Pacifico's the largest pre-owned certified dealer on the East Coast. Here are the stats. All certified Fords get a tough 115-point analysis. Every certified vehicle has a 6-year, 75,000-mile powertrain warranty and roadside assistance. Rates as low as 5.9 APR for up to 60 months. Pacifico certified Ford. Now that's the score.
Locked, loaded, and in way too deep. Miami Vice, now on demand.
The house.
You're not going to charge.
Stop it. Wrap it up.
He started it.
They put fun in dysfunction.
Oh, how about that?
Order Little Miss Sunshine now. Hit movies without the trip to the video store. On demand with Comcast Digital Cable.
And welcome back to Melbourne Park, the 2007 Australian Open, presented by Franklin Templeton Investments. And Lena has already done something that the first three opponents of Martina Hingis barely accomplished, and that's winning 2 games in a set. And she leads 2 games to 1 here in this opening set. The winner will be matched up against either Kim Kleisters or Daniela Hansikova. The women's top half of the draw.
Great depth from Hingis. Sharapova against Ivanova. I think that's going to be a tough match. They know each other well. Ivanova's had a couple wins against Sharapova. Chakvedadze and Schneider. And Kleister, she's only lost 9 games to get to this match. She's been playing extremely well. Hantukova came back from being down against Harkerode yesterday. Set in 5-2.
We speculated last year when Martina Hingis made her comeback as to whether or not she would be able to make it to the top 10 by year's end. She certainly has accomplished that. But the other question was, would she ever be a top 5 player again? What do you think?
I think she can, Dick. I think she played a lot of tournaments last year, 20 tournaments, got to the quarters or better in 13 of them, winning 2 tournaments. The trouble she runs into is when she plays the bigger hitters and the ones that can defend, and we're seeing that a little bit right now against Lena. The match is a little bit out of her hands.
Well done.
And she almost has to hope to find one of the top players a little bit off that day for her to have that win. You know, she did beat players like Sharapova and Davenport last year early in the season. But again, they weren't at their best. I still feel that a Sharapova, a Kleisters, and a Maresma at their best will beat Hingis.
Oh, that's a ripper again from that backhand wing. And Lena leads 3-1 in this opening set.
3 games to 1.
See much more pace on her strokes than Hingis. Swiss flag in evidence, and that's a pretty good position to be in, rooting for the Swiss. You got Federer and Hingis.
And the veteran Patty Schneider.
That's right.
Still hanging in there.
Tricky opponent, isn't she?
She's the oldest one left in the draw. Hingis the second oldest at age 26.
Her first major championship, Martina Hingis, 10 years ago here in Melbourne when she won her first of 3 straight Australian Open titles.
Shannon Stolly, former ATP Tour player, great doubles player, won the U.S. Open in doubles. He's been working with the Chinese players since about July of last year.
Son of Fred Stolle, one of the great Aussies, 50s and 60s. Still a commentator here in Australia. There's some talk that Michael Chang might be employed by the Chinese in preparation for the Beijing Olympics. He's been over there and has given some talks. Whether or not that'll become a serious relationship, we'll see. Opening set, round of 16. Lena leads 3-2.
How it works. Get the nation's slimmest smartphone for only $99.99. The Q. With easy access to email and Windows Mobile. It's the stylish way to work. From Verizon Wireless, America's most reliable wireless broadband network. Verizon Wireless. It's the network.
Back at Melbourne Park, Rod Laver Arena. 15,000 capacity, and one more. Luke.
Thanks, Dick. Talking about Shannon Stolly, who's working with the Chinese players. I want to talk to him about the X's and O's of his players and the work ethic. He said, it is amazing. There is such a big movement in tennis in China right now. They've taken the work ethic from the gymnastics program and their diving and swimming program and really put that into the tennis. They work harder than anybody, bigger than, tougher than the Russians, the South Americans. And I said, can I come down during the match and, ask you a few questions? Because you don't understand. This is much bigger. They are really teeing this up for the Olympics. The government's watching. The federations are watching. This is serious business.
Well, remember last year, over a year ago at Wimbledon, all the Chinese didn't go to Wimbledon to play in their national championships. That was more important than going to Wimbledon.
Yeah, getting them ready for the Asian Games. There's that beautiful backhand delivering a winner. And in fact, Lena disappeared from the professional scene for a couple of years, didn't she? And word was that her game had slipped enough that the government said, okay, you get to sit out for a while and someone else will play.
How about pressure?
15 seconds.
But it may have been the best thing that could have happened to her career. She returns a couple years later. She spent some time at the university and now playing in top form, top 20. Will there be a Chinese slam champion in the next 5-10 years?
And more importantly to them, a gold medalist. They had the gold medal winning team in Athens, and that's what they're trying to peak for the Olympic Games in Beijing in 2008. Double-handed backhand again doing the damage, and it was between 02 and 03 that Lena did not play, and then came back a little fresher, more motivation, and steadily has climbed up the rankings to her all-time high right now after reaching the semis last week in Sydney, where she's 16 in the world.
And the hold by Lena. It's 4-2. Martina Hingis, a year ago, returns to the professional game and heard the cheers and support of fans here in Australia and in tournaments around the world. And it was a rather remarkable effort by her, not only in singles, but she wins the mixed doubles with Bupati, her first ever slam in mixed. You played doubles. I remember seeing you as her partner at the Family Circle Cup. You won the doubles title down in Hilton Head.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to play a few tournaments with Martina Hingis. She was just a teenager, and I couldn't believe how much she knew about doubles and just court sense and positioning. And, you know, she was the captain of the team. She knew where to stand and the plays to make. Remember all the years that Martina Hingis was winning singles down here. She was also winning the doubles with different partners.
And she completed the doubles Grand Slam with Yana Novotná. 35, make it 36 doubles titles in her career, 9 of those majors.
Another backhand winner. That's her 5th. Great shoulder turn, great disguise. It does remind me a little bit of Kim Clijsters, the way she takes her racket back and then just great extension. Hingis is playing doubles here this year with Kuznetsova. They got rained out yesterday after just playing a few games.
Cross court off that backhand and with plenty of pop. And here's another break point for Lena. Go up a double break and position herself to serve out the set.
Try to hit another winner. Bigger point, got a little tense and hit it late.
Another chance for 5-2.
This is an important time for Lena. She's faced the top players a lot in the last 12 months, has had leads in sets. She had 4-1 up against Sharapova at the U.S. Open, 5-2 against Clijsters at Wimbledon. Wasn't able to close them out.
Wild on that. She took a bigger swing. Not quite as compact as those up the line backhands. Point now for 4-3 for Hingis. Down a break.
Another aggressive backhand from deep in the court. Hingis didn't have too many options, and no mistake that time.
10-2 and winners in this opening set. Terrific start for Lena.
Advantage Lena.
And here's her third break point in this game.
You could tell Hingis is starting to feel a little bit more pressure to do something early in the rally. Go for a little bit more, and that's why she's making a few errors.
Fourth deuce of this long game. 3 opportunities missed now by Lena to take a 5-2 advantage.
Advantage Hingis.
It's going to take all the guile of this talented woman, Martina Hingis, to deny Lena based on what we've seen thus far.
Advantage Hingis.
Hingis has to find a way to get a little closer up onto that baseline and not give up too much ground to Lena. A lot more depth in that last rally from Hingis.
And there it is. Hingis struggles, saves 3 break points, holds 4-3 opening set. The winner to the quarterfinals of the Australian Open.
For each of us, there's a moment of discovery. We see that all of life is elemental. And as we marvel at element bonding with element, we soon realize that when you add the human element to the equation, the chemistry changes. We find a way of seeing that gives us a way of touching. Issues, ambitions, lives. The human element. Nothing is more fundamental. Nothing more elemental.
A city of stately European architecture, along with the modern and beautiful gardens. 20% of the city in parks and gardens. Suffering, of course, this summer with all the drought, but nevertheless, lots of beauty.
Let's take a look at ING's shot spot. Lena has not faced the break point. One of the reasons she hasn't missed the first serve. She's directing most of them up the center, up the center tee, a couple out wide. She's had 1 ace.
15 love.
But that's pretty amazing. Has not missed 1 first serve.
She was 75% serving in her last match, and Hingis even better than that, 83%. Well, she doesn't threaten you with her serve, but didn't give anything as well. Lena, 2 points from capturing this opening set. Excuse me. 4-3 and 2 points from a 5-3 lead. Little extra on that last backhand from the veteran Hingis.
13-15.
She's going to be forced to do a little more on some of her shots, get a little more pace, and try to get Lena to back away a little bit.
Spins in a successful serve at 100 miles an hour.
Lena had to play yesterday. Match held over because of the rain and just destroyed Safina.
Yeah, that was a surprising result, wasn't it?
I thought it was 2-2.
Dinara Safina, the younger sister of Murat Safin. Her knowledge of every inch of that green rectangle is terrific. She knows just where everything should go.
To me, her movement, Dick, she hits and she moves. She knows where that next ball's coming. Now Lena can't get too frustrated. She's had points to go up 5-2, now points to go up 5-3.
And here's a break point for Hingis.
Her first.
Chance to level this opening set at 4-all. The depth in that rally, and finally too long as Lena, and Hingis draws even at 4 games all.
4 games.
Great comeback in this set from Martina Hingis. She's been down almost in every game. She's found a way to hang in there, work the ball side to side, and I think what you said, Dick, her depth is getting better, and that's allowing her to move inside the court a little bit more.
Approaching the noon hour on Monday in Melbourne. Watching the Australian Open live. This is a round of 16 encounter between Lena, the number 19 seed, and 7-seeded Martina Hingis, a champion in Australia 3 times. 4-all, love 30.
Another opportunity for Lena. She had break points at 4-2. She had game points at 4-3, and now love 30.
Lena in charge of that point throughout. 2 more break points.
have to expect the extra ball to come back when you play against Martina Hingis. Her anticipation, her footwork is so solid.
Well, when she connects, that ball jumps off her racket, and Lena with the break will serve for the set when we come back to Melbourne.
First 8-speed automatic transmission. The new LS. Unprecedented.
With Dell, no middlemen means no runaround. So nothing slows my business down. I get just the technology I want from someone who's always there to answer for it. No excuses. And that's what I really needed. A partner who's as quick and responsive as the bikes we build.
It's your enterprise, so every Dell solution is purely you.
Well, we tried to find out what's the oi. Well, I guess that's no different than our saying yay. Oi, 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 Aussie. And they do it with a smile down here.
Sure do.
No worries. What a great philosophy. You hear it all the time. Well, there's some concern. The lady in black, far court. She's down a break now, 5-4. Lena serving for this first set. Caught the line. Now 2 points from a first set win.
Still has not missed the first serve.
And triple set point. Guessed right. And it paid off. Saves one set point. Look on her face as if to say, now how did she know I was going to go over there?
Finally. A fault.
Actually has to serve a second ball.
And there you can see the tension from Lena. She knows this is a big opportunity to close out the set. She's really outplayed Hingis in this first set. She's been the one taking it to Hingis, being more aggressive.
Yeah, feeling the pressure a little bit. It's been her pattern in the past year or so, as you've indicated, closing out a set or a match. And she does close it out with another backhand winner. Lena owns the opening set, 6-4. The round of 16 in Melbourne.
Comcast high-speed internet gives you access to exciting features on Comcast.net, including the fan and Rhapsody Radio Plus free. The Comcast Triple Play. Internet, phone, and cable. Together on one bill from one company. Call today.
CNN Prime Time. It's the questions that matter. Just how prepared are we?
It's the stories that surprise.
What was your understanding of what an escort did?
Provocative.
How did the government blow it?
Eye-opening.
I want you to see what it's really like.
Call us on now, weeknights on CNN.
Looking for a steal on a cheap set of wheels under 10 grand? Check out the Hot 100 at cherryhilltriplex.com. The future of car buying is here.
Get America's #1 high-speed internet. Unlimited local and long-distance calling nationwide. And thousands of choices on demand. The Comcast Triple Play. Internet, phone, and cable. Together on one bill from one company. Call today.
Lots of action for you on this Monday from Australia. Sunday night back home. Kim Clijsters made it to the finals 3 years ago. Seeks her first Australian Open title. And how about James Blake, unbeaten so far in this new season? Won at Sydney. Has been outstanding through the first half of the tournament this year. And you'll see both of those matches, Clijsters and Hentukova. That'll follow this one on Rod Laver. And then third up will be James Blake and Fernando Gonzalez, who played about as perfect a couple of sets against Leighton Hewitt as any man ever could.
Pretty remarkable, and I think we're going to see two very confident players in Blake and Gonzalez playing the best tennis of their career up against each other. I think it's going to be tremendous shot making in that match.
Especially the forehands, two of the biggest in the game. Well, Martina Hingis has work to do. She's down a set, opens the second. Strategically, Mary Jo Fernandez, will Hingis call upon a different ploy?
She might venture up forward a little bit more. The hard thing is that Lena has been penetrating the court so well, especially with the backhand, that Hingis is on her back foot a lot.
Steals a service point there.
Hingis was only able to come forward to the net 6 times in that first set.
First serves around 88 to 93 miles an hour, Hingis. From Lena as Hingis holds. She's had such great success here at the Australian Open. In fact, in Grand Slam play, Hingis totally 148 and 29 in major competition. So she doesn't have many results where she loses the first set. And when she does, she's 2-5 here at Melbourne. Luke Jensen.
Yeah, one of the things I see down on the court is that Hingis is going way too much to the backhand. I mean, I can't believe she hasn't adjusted her play. Right now, Lena is controlling the middle of the court, very similar to what I see, the same type of ball from Lena that we saw from Lindsay Davenport, pure striker, deep into the corners, nice and flat.
Well, in that last game, Luke, all the errors, except the last one, were from the forehand. So that should send a message to Hingis to start directing more shots to the weaker wing.
And that's exactly what she did in that point. A late call. Chair umpire Allison Lang with a call.
From here it was. It looked long from here.
See if Lena challenges.
This is challenging the call on the left baseline. The ball was called out.
an apologetic request for challenge
Yes.
from Lena. Is it all right to challenge? And good eyes.
Good overrule.
Love 13.
Alison Lang from Great Britain, one of the best umpires in the game.
Love 14. Italy has one challenge remaining.
2 incorrect challenges. That's the rules under which they are operating here at the Australian Open. She has 1 remaining in the second set and is in the hole here. Love 40.
Breaks the string of 7 straight points for Hingis.
And there's the break. Hingis leads 2-love. Second set. After losing the opener 6-4 to Lena. So Lena starts very coolly here in this second set, winning only 1 point in 2 games, and finds herself down 2-love to Hingis. And Hingis really pushing her on that forehand side. 8 out of 9 points to Hingis in this set. Nine out of 10 now.
Fifteen all.
Nicely done by Lena. Showing a little variety.
15-30.
Last minute comes underneath the ball for a delicate drop shot. A lot like Martina Hingis.
Mm-hmm.
Good disguise.
I was going to say, that was well disguised. Was close as well.
I called it exactly the same way.
Miss Lee is challenging the ball on the left baseline. The ball was called out.
This is going to be close. Yeah.
Look, she got it.
Play the points.
$15-30. You don't get many good bounces like that here in Melbourne. Enough pop on that backhand that it hit the net cord and kicked over. Usually it bounces back on, in this case, Lena's side. She'll accept it with apology.
mistake off the forehand wing.
But another chance to break back for Lena.
You set up the point beautifully, Lena. Just rushed through that approach shot.
Yeah, tough running through the ball and kind of falling left and hitting right.
Exactly. The balance was not there.
So 2 chances to break, saved by Hingis.
Recognizing she had hit a great angle, takes the ball out of the air. Kept her eye on the ball the whole time.
Nice style.
Very clean.
Oh, the break by Lena. She's back on serve in the second after winning the opener 6-4.
The Quiznos is like stacked with a bunch of meat and the Subway sandwiches. Like when you're in kindergarten and your mom throws some stuff together real quick.
If I ran out of gas in front of a Subway place, I'd walk 10 blocks to get this.
A lot of meat. A lot of meat.
You can actually see the meat coming out of the Quiznos sandwich there.
Magnifico? Is that Italian?
Try Quiznos' new Ultimate Italian with a double portion of authentic Italian meats and cheeses. If you're not 100% satisfied, you'll get a free sub. Only from Quiznos. Toasty.
The world can be a complicated place. But when it comes to your money, ING is making it easier. See why it's easier on the bench. Ask your financial professional about ING. Your future made easier.
Muffin.
Skyline of Melbourne, Australia's second largest city, down on the southeastern coast. Beautiful bay. Tasmania to the south. Indoors, we got the roof open today. The weather for midsummer, very pleasant. Temperature in the mid-70s today. Actually a cool breeze after the rains of the last 3 days. She loves that play. Bring in the opponent, then lob.
The problem is you need to be controlling more points in order to play that drop shot. She hasn't had enough of dictating.
Daniela Antikova. Kim Kleisters will play the next match here at Rod Laver. So they can do a little scouting or watch it on television this match because their opponent will advance out of this match. And the same for these two women. After their work is done, they do their interviews. They can scout Kleisters and Antikova.
Pretty solid Lena from both the forehand and the backhand, but we're seeing the errors from the forehand. She tends to open up a little too soon. And most of them are going long.
First double fault. And here's a chance for Hingis to get the lead immediately back on her side.
Well, everybody knows when you play against Martina Hingis, you have to beat her. Rarely does Martina Hingis beat herself. And Lena's going to have to continue to be aggressive and go for shots like that last forehand. That time a little more topspin for a little margin. She needs to produce the kind of tennis that won her the first set.
Back-to-back forehand winners to erase 2 break points.
And it's nice to see that she's not shying away from attacking. She's missed a few this second set on the forehand, and she's still looking to hit the winner. Great double-handed dipper passing shot from Martina Hingis. She was all but out of that point, Dick, until this very moment right here, where she takes a little bit off, rolls across court, knowing that her opponent is not comfortable at the net. She makes her get low and hit a half volley. Very smart play.
Knows her geometry. And there's another break opportunity gone quickly. 3 of them in this game for Hingis. All saved by Lena. Trying to consolidate her break of Hingis' service in the last game. Played a lot of terrific defense, did Hingis, but
Lena just having Hingis on a string there from side to side, opening up the court with angles.
And saving 3 break points, Lena is at 2-all here in the second set, leading by a set 6-4 in the first. Again, the winner advances to the quarterfinals against either Kim Clijsters or Daniela Hantuchova, who will play on Rod Laver immediately after this match. And there is the section in which these 2 women are attempting to advance.
Kim Clijsters, the heavy favorite in that match, has never lost to Hantuchova.
Left.
With the roof open, it's a partly cloudy day, so there'll be bright splashes of sunlight. Hingis checking the light now. It's a little tougher serving at that end.
Hingis is trying desperately to hold her ground, but she keeps getting pushed back. I think that's what becomes so frustrating for Martina Hingis, that so many times she's at the mercy of the bigger hitters.
Plenty of time. Lena was there. A little too much on that cross court.
Oh, that's pretty.
Well, when she has time to line it up, that's textbook stuff. And another break point.
Again, the shoulder turn stays low through the shot. That's the biggest difference between her forehand and backhand. On the backhand, she's always down. Forehand sometimes pops up. Another great drop shot from Hingis.
On break point. Pays dividends.
What a time. She was inside the court, was able to just drop it so short.
I see, says Lena. That's how you win those major titles. Hingis with 3 here in Australia. Of course, Wimbledon and the U.S.
Tremendous rally from both players. And again, it's the double-handed backhand at the line, producing the winner. The minute she has a little more time.
Her 12th backhand winner and 22nd of the match.
Only 4 winners for Hingis.
There's that doubles background, seizes the net, the opportunity, and applies the winning volley.
To give her one more winner, but that just shows you how tough it is for Hingis out there. Got to rely, Martina Hingis, on taking the ball early, on trying to take some time away from Lena. But she will not be overpowering the Chinese player.
She's got her grabbing some air. She's had her on the run throughout this game. Another long service game for Hingis, a 3rd deuce. She just has not had many easy games on her serve. And part of that is that there isn't much serving power. She puts it in play, and Lena has shown that she's a heavier hitter. Yeah, the sun got her that time. Just wide.
So close. She could find a way to hold on to this service game, and then Lena go to the difficult side to serve. Ooh. Maybe a caught ING shot spot showing you nick the line.
Advantage Lena.
That would have given her the game.
Instead, here's a third break point for Lena in this game. Put her nose in front in the second set. Second 5-deuce game on Hingis' serve.
Advantage Hingis.
16th point of this game. And finally, Hingis with the hold. They're on serve in the second set, 3-2. Lena of China in the lead. She won the opener 6-4.
Want to know how Hotwire.com can guarantee the lowest prices on hotels? Hotwire has special deals with 3- and 4-star hotels. When hotels have unsold rooms, they use Hotwire to fill them, so you get them at prices lower than any other travel site. Guaranteed, like 4 stars in Chicago. Travelocity price $179. Hotwire.com price just $96. Want a great deal on your next hotel? Visit Hotwire.com. 4-star hotels, 2-star prices.
H-O-T-W-I-R-E, Hotwire.com.
This town is not big enough for the two of us.
Hold on there, cowboy.
I show comparison rates from other insurance companies and...
That's great. Esurance has them too. Can you also buy the policy?
Does not compute.
At Esurance, if we can't give you the best deal, we'll show you where you can and help you buy the policy right away.
So it's not smoke.
Looks like the competition couldn't handle Esurance. Need a ride?
Sure.
Quote and compare. Save on auto insurance at esurance.com today.
And welcome back to Melbourne, presented by Franklin Templeton Investments. This live coverage of the Australian Open. Lena leading by a set, and out on one of the outside courts is Fernando Gonzalez. Used to call him the flayin' Chilean because he just would hit out on everything. It sometimes went in. That was great. Sometimes it didn't. But he is so much more in control of his game. He's the number 10 seed, and he will be playing James Blake for a quarterfinal berth on this court, Rod Laver Arena, 2 matches from now. After an immaculate couple of sets against Leighton Hewitt, 33 winners and 2 unforced errors in the first 2 sets against the Aussie number 1.
A very streaky performance here by Lena in the second set. Looks like any rhythm against her. All of a sudden she plays some long points, hits some winners, and then out of nowhere the unforced errors come into play.
Here she is ranked 16th in the world, seeded 19th, but only one title. That was in China. 10 points that backhand against Hingis at age 26 with 42 career titles, 5 of them majors. Here's a double breaker for Martina Hingis. But for the opening game of the set, served by Hingis, every game has featured a handful of opportunities for the receiver to break.
Another unforced.
And Hingis grabs the lead, 4-2.
We're talking about the winner's Dick from Lena, and she does have a lot at 23, but now the unforced errors are at 38. It's only 13 unforced from Hingis, and that's what's making the difference now in the second set.
As you mentioned earlier, Hingis won't beat herself, but she will allow her opponent to beat herself.
Exactly.
She is not one of the 9 women in history to have a career Grand Slam. Has 3 of the 4 majors. And the one that you would have thought she would win first was on the Terre Battue Roland Garros, the French Open. She has not been able to loft the prize at the French Open. Was in 2 finals. And one of all the matches that I've seen her play, the most memorable was her defeat to Steffi Graf in '99.
She came so close.
In fact, that match was voted in one of the surveys as one of the top women's matches in the last 30 years. That was Steffi Graf's final major.
And she almost did the Grand Slam in '97 when she won 3 of the 4, reaching the finals of the French, losing to Eva Maioli. That was a huge upset.
That really was. Oh, it picks that one out of the air. A swing volley.
Sure, it's tough for Hingis to know what's happening next. She knows her opponent can come up with winners, but she's seen a lot of unforced errors in the set.
Well, it's been consistent this entire set. The server playing in jeopardy. Here's another break point. Off the sideline. Saves that break point barely.
That was close. She knows it. She had to win this point a couple times. Ooh, let's take a look at ING's shot spot. See, it just missed.
But no challenge from the Chinese
I think
opponent.
Lena was too far away from it. She couldn't really see it.
Martina may have known that that was wide. She had a good look at it.
And it was on the sideline closer to the chair umpire.
Point for 5-2 for Martina Hingis. A late call. Apparently no bent to challenge from Hingis. Oh, she's played long service games. Lena delivering an acute angle to earn that point.
Gets on the outside of the ball to get the angle where Hingis is when she makes contact. A bigger serve there. Every once in a while, she'll get up there and swing a little harder, hit a few more miles per hour.
And it was 176 kilometers, about 109-mile-an-hour serve, her biggest of the match.
And another one.
And she holds for a 5-2 advantage, trying to rally and force this to a decisive third.
Winter X Games 11 starts Thursday live at 9 on ESPN.
Here's how it works. Get the nation's slimmest smartphone for only $99.99. The Q. With easy access to email and Windows Mobile. It's the stylish way to work. From Verizon Wireless, America's most reliable wireless broadband network. Verizon Wireless. It's the network.
Feeling that big cold all over your body? Immerse yourself in total cold relief with Alka-Seltzer Plus. Liquid medicine that speeds relief to every inch of you for big relief fast. Alka-Seltzer Plus liquidates your big cold all over. Also available in liquid gel and new liquid.
Let's turn the clock back to 99 on the red clay of the French Open. Martina Hingis in the far court against Steffi Graf. This is match point. Hingis had turned the crowd against her. She had argued on some calls, even gone to the other side. You see she's ready to break down there. Left immediately after the handshake. And her mother had to go in and rescue her and bring her out for the trophy presentation. She did not want to return to center court. It was a heartbreaking and heart-reaching moment. And fortunately, she did come back out. And Steffi Graf able to celebrate really an upset win for Graf.
It really was, and Hingis had served for the match in the second set, and the crowd did get against her. And just the other day here, Tracy Austin, who's doing commentating for Australian TV, wrote an article about how fans sometimes turn things around and help outcomes in matches. Hingis read it, because it talked about that match and how Hingis got the crowd against her, and went up to Tracy and said, why'd you have to bring that up again? So it's still a very sore spot for Martina Hingis.
Yeah, it's a low point in her career. And at a event where the crowd was neutral at the start of the match, and then they turned totally. What happened there? Lena, ball must have skipped off the baseline, and she's going to
baseline, and the ball was called good.
Challenge the call that it was long. Right at her feet, and she was wrong. The ball did hit the baseline.
We rarely see that. Remaining. You don't always see the player play it back, even if they think it was out.
Another sweet winner off that backhand wing. 14 in the match for Lena. And so really, that whole article by Tracy Austin is applicable here. Here's an Australian crowd. They come to watch good tennis. Most of them don't have a favorite. They're just going to cheer good play. But something happens, and all of us say, I'm going to root for that girl. And in the case in Paris, and the French, you know how they could be, so derisive with the whistles and all. They got on Hingis, and they really were difficult on her, and it did help decide the match. She felt the whole world was against her. Lena holds, and now it's Hingis serving to square the match.
Hingis has stated that one of the nice things coming back is that fans have been on her side. They've welcomed her back.
That's interesting, isn't it? What goes around comes around. Yeah, she's been a very popular player wherever she has been involved in tournaments around the world. since her comeback. Way off on that second serve, and perhaps the sun bothering her on the toss.
First double fault.
There again.
Yeah.
That tosses right into the sun. Roof is open today here in Melbourne. Certainly saved us the last 3 days from the rain. Able to continue good play.
You have to adjust your toss sometimes when the sun is right up there. And the toughest shot to hit is almost not the serve, it's the one after it. Because from looking up at the sun, a little hazy.
It's 12:30 in the afternoon on Monday, so that sun is directly overhead here in the southern hemisphere in the middle of summer. 2 points from a set all, Hingis. And now 2 set points.
Too many gifts in this game from Lena.
Unforced errors up to 45 from Lena. And another gives Hingis the second set, 6-3. So they'll play a set for the quarters as we go to Chris Fowler.
All right, Dick, Mary Jo, thank you. Pam Shriver joins me on the deck here. So it will come down to a decisive set. Hingis able to kind of turn things her way, and Lena, if she just had a little more touch and finesse to her game to go with that power, she'd be much more complete, wouldn't she?
Or just kept her power game more consistent. I mean, her game is all about just crushing the ball, particularly off the backhand side. And I thought the first set, Lena should have won it like 6-1 or 6-2, and it gave Hingis that little ray of hope going into the second set. You're going to watch Lena just dominate the action in the first set. The backhand down the line, like so many two-handed backhands today, is just exquisite. And Martina Hingis was falling back, was really just on the defensive throughout most of the set, although Lena kind of blew a couple of games from 40-15 up and lots of break points. Lena, Chris, is only 3 of 14 on break points, and I think that bodes well for Martina Hingis in the third set because once the second set started, Martina Hingis just hung in there well. She's battling, sort of surviving the storm of Lena. So who knows what's going to happen. I'll go with my original pick of a big upset, but it's not looking as good.
Now, Lena has had double the number of breakpoint chances than Hingis has. Interesting that in 2007, Hingis is 0-2 in 3-set matches. In a run-up here, Catalina Castaño, Colombia beat her 6-2 in the third. Then Kim Clijsters got her in Sydney. So she has yet to win one of these 3-setters this year.
But Martina Hingis has never lost before the quarterfinals of the Australian Open. So what do you think?
You stick with your original pick. I think you never waver.
Too many unforced errors. Let me tell you, she's got to clean it up in the third, Lena.
After this match, it's Kim Clijsters and Daniela Hantuchova. Then it'll be James Blake against that man, Fernando Gonzalez of Chile. So impressive in the first week. Can he possibly maintain his incredible level of play here? Get out of the way. Everyone, you see Gonzo and Larry Stefanki, his coach, working out there on court. And before that's still to come in our coverage. But back now to the decisive set, Lena and Martina Hingis. Back to Dick and Mary Jo.
And I know it disappoints you, Chris Fowler, not able to use your OVA lines. You know, I saw you watching cricket, and they got OVAs there, too. I mean, this is your time of the year in the right place. With so many women in this championship with a surname ending in OVA.
Well, we'll have one after this match.
That's right.
Right, Hantuchova.
Here we're a set all. And both women have taken a bathroom break.
Trying to change their shirts, but, you know, for Hingis to be expected, high percentage of first serves, no aces, just 1 double fault, only 7 winners, but only 15 unforced errors. Very different for Lena.
So while Hingis is off on a break, we will do the same. Third and final set coming up. A round of 16 for this Australian Open title.
It's a whole lot of fun.
Cars are fun. Shopping for them should be too. vhicks.com. Roadmap to the automotive world.
Hi, I'm Ed Doyle. I'm the popcorn chef at Dale & Thomas Popcorn, and I'm here to tell you how Comcast subscribers can get $20 off their first order. At Dale & Thomas, we combine our premium corn with the finest gourmet ingredients to create the best flavors ever known to the world of popcorn. As a Comcast customer, you can save $20 on your first order. Just visit DaleandThomas.com/Comcast.
This is as good as it gets.
Whatever, dude. This is just some really good corn, bro.
At Dale & Thomas, we're all about sharing our love of popcorn, so we'll give you $20 off. Just visit us online today.
Waiting for the start of the third set as the players take a break. So a chance to check in with Luke Jensen is with Fernando Gonzalez.
Fernando, you are on fire right now. Talk about your form.
Oh, I'm trying to hit always, but this week I've been playing really good. Last match against Hewitt, I was playing my best tennis in the first two sets, so I'm really happy for it. And I know that today I have a really tough match against James, but it's going to be tough for both.
Now, James is playing really well, too. You guys almost mirror one another. Big forehand, solid backhands, all-court games. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we know each other really well. We play around 6 times, and we always have a good match, so I hope that it's going to be really good, and I hope to win today.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Luke, thank you. Yeah, Gonzo, just breathtaking tennis against Hewitt. And you see that the third set is now back underway. Dick Maryjoe.
All right, Chris, and Gonzalez indicating 6 times. Indeed, he's right on, and each man has won 3. And they had a terrific Davis Cup encounter at Rancho Mirage on grass a year ago when Gonzalez won in the 5th 10-8. Expect that to be a outstanding match, and you'll see it here live later in our telecast.
15.
Lena, so many opportunities in that second set. Had a ton of break points, but couldn't convert enough. And Hingis tenaciously hanging on to hope forces this final set. 15-all.
It's been Lena calling the shots today. Dick, she's the one really controlling the points, and she's the one making the errors. Hingis, consistent as usual, trying to cut the ball deep. But she did aim more balls to the Lena forehand in that second set, and I think that helped. Got more errors off that wing.
Again, the outstanding depth and weight of shot from Lena when she keeps it in the court. You can see how she could be tough on the very best in the women's game.
She transfers her body weight extremely well on both the forehand and the backhand. She has good acceleration. She's had very solid wins already in her career. At Wimbledon, when she reached the semi, she beat Kuznetsova, she beat Vaidisova. Just last week in Sydney, she beat Dementieva. And in the last round, she beat Safina, who had just knocked out Hingis in the finals in the Gold Coast quite easily. So the ability, the talent is clearly there for Lena.
Oh, my, that's a shame. She was in control of that point.
Missed a couple overheads. Not getting back quick enough to get set up to hit the overhead. A very smart defensive play by Hingis.
Walk up another in that backhand column. Number 15, winners.
I think on the big points, Hingis would be wise to stay away from that backhand. Aiming a few too many to that strength. She lines it up beautifully, and it's just great extension at the end.
The two-handed backhand is, to my eyes, never as visually exciting as a beautiful one-handed backhand, but when it comes to two-handers, this woman's shot is precious. Fun to watch her. Back to deuce. And another.
You know, I'm a little biased to the two-handed backhand. Of course, I grew up watching Chris Everett hitting that beautiful double-handed backhand, and for a long time, that's been the strength in the women's game. The backhand wing, and particularly the double-handed, whether it was Davenport's or the Williams sisters, Martina Hingis.
Justine N. Arden, one of the rare players, and Amelie Mauresmo, the one-handed backhand. Well, you can just write it down in the contract. You play Martina Hingis, you're going to hit a lot of balls. She's going to make you play. And Lena is going through that experience now. She had a chance, several chances in that second set to close it out. Could not.
Well, it comes down to belief. And this final set for Lena.
Good enough.
A little unlucky there for Lena. Working her way in. We've seen a couple nice drop shots, and this one just catches the top of the tape. A little relief from Hingis.
Yeah, and a chance now to get the early break in the final set. And there it is. Martina Hingis knows the way to win in Australia, and she's in the lead. Final set. Immediately following this match on Rod Laver Arena, you'll see Kim Clijsters, the number 4 seed, against Daniela Hantuchova. Clijsters 8-0 against Hantuchova. And then James Blake, never played better. How far can he advance? Fernando Gonzalez will be the roadblock, and we're going to see some heavy hitting in that one.
We sure are. Blake trying to get to the quarterfinals of a major for the first time. So we know it's a huge matchup for Blake. And last time Clijsters and Hantuchova played was last year at the French Open in the round of 16 in the same round, and Clijsters won that in straight sets. She's only lost one set to Hantuchova in their 8 meetings.
Well, Blake has not made it to the quarters in a major. Fernando Gonzalez has advanced twice, once at the French Open 2003 and then at Wimbledon, a big surprise a couple of years ago, and lost in the quarterfinals to a man named Federer.
We've heard of him.
Yeah, he's played last night again, didn't he? Young Novak Djokovic taken to the woodshed in straight sets. And Hingis again is just trying to find a spot where that's the sun keeps following her toss.
$15.
We saw in that replay of the 99 French Open, Martina Hingis' mother, Melanie Molitor, and embracing her and bringing her back out on court. She's been absent here in Australia.
It's true. She actually wasn't even here last year. We saw her throughout the year. Martina Hingis has a hitting partner with her.
And fiance as well, Radek Stepanek.
He lost in the third round. Tough 5-set match to David Ferrer of Spain. Ferrer went on to lose to Fish yesterday.
Serena Williams is the final U.S. woman left in the championship. James Blake trying to join Andy Roddick and Marty Fish, 3 Yanks into the final 8 of this major title. Yeah, the backhand failing her in that game, and Hingis builds her lead to 2-love in the final set. Well, they started 128, all with high hopes, win this first major of the new season. After today and tonight, only 8 men, 8 women will be left to vie for this coveted championship. And you look ahead in the draw, there's some delicious potential matches coming up this second week in Melbourne.
Who would have thought that Serena Williams, having only played 4 tournaments last year, would actually be in a position to possibly win the tournament, reach the final?
She may win it. She has been one of the biggest stories of the championship. If that's rusty, I want to know where to get some.
Exactly. Getting better and better with every match. Hitting the ball better, moving better. She's actually served very well from the very start, Serena. Serena actually beat Lena in her first round here last year in a tough 3-set match. And similar to this match, Lena, she's very streaky. Moments of brilliance, and you think she's going to run away with games, and then at times just too many mistakes just from really nowhere.
And a double fault thrown in by Lena, and best be careful now. She's down a break and flirting with a deeper hole on this service game. And here's another break point for Hingis. And while she's had some spectacular winners, especially on that backhand side, the unforced error count is up to 56 in the match. And counters with another perfectly placed backhand winner, her 17th.
Gets on the outside of the ball very well. A very acute angle behind the baseline.
Statistics in this match are so extreme between these two players.
They're a day
stunning.
and night, yeah. Total opposite. But the scary thing for me is that even though she has 56 unforced errors, Lena, she holds here. She's right back in this match with a chance to win. Because the winners are also there. She's able to run through a streak of winners. She has 30 winners in this match.
There's another error. And then you look at the numbers of Hingis. You know, so unspectacular. Her total winners in the match, 7, with only 18 unforced errors. 38 less unforced errors than her opponent.
And most of those errors came in the first set, just that she lost. Different mentality out there. Another mistake.
And another break point for Hingis for a 3-love lead in the final set.
Hingis is very content to play safe, to play high percentage tennis.
Oh, looked as if she was going down the middle and almost changed her service motion in midstream.
It fooled Hingis, didn't it?
It did. I think it fooled almost everyone. How did that one go wide? Saves a break point with it. Only the second ace of the match, both by the server. Terrific defense by Hingis. Finally coaxes the error. And another break point.
Keeps getting that extra ball back. Here forcing Lena to come up with her own pace, her own power. Not always an easy thing.
And there it is. Hingis breaks again. Enjoys a 3-love lead. Final set. This round of 16.
Listen up. This is your 98 whatchamacallit.
You got an F.
You know what we're gonna do now?
No.
Unpimp your auto. We just dropped it like it's hot. V-Dub, representing Deutschland.
The Volkswagen GTI, 2007 Automobile of the Year.
Things that make you go,
Papa John's Garlic Parmesan Breadsticks. Taste them, dip them, tear them, and share them. Because get this, they're free. Get an order of 8 fresh-baked garlic Parmesan breadsticks free when you order a large one-topping pizza for just $11.99. Buy a large one-topping pizza, get an order of garlic Parmesan breadsticks free. Call or order online.
Taste the difference. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
things that make you go,
And James Blake, one of 3 Americans left, facing Fernando Gonzalez. That's coming up later this afternoon live. Roddick and Fish, an All-America quarterfinal. So that assures a U.S. player in the semifinals. The last time an American man won this championship was 2003, Andre Agassi. his third Australian Open championship. Martina Hingis with the comfort of a double break lead here in the final set. Hingis so sharp, just gets every ball back with good depth and induces another error.
I think as the match has progressed, Lena has gotten a little bit tired. She's had to work very hard, hit a lot of balls. And that could be one of the reasons she also has been making more mistakes. So wanted the drop shot early in the rally. That's a sign of fatigue.
A hold at love for Hingis, who has struggled in many of her service games. Refreshing for her to have such an easy game and a 4-love lead on her way to the quarterfinals. And will it be Daniela Hantuchova or Kim Clijsters? They'll play next here on Rod Laver Arena Court, main show court in Melbourne Park.
Could have a repeat of last year's quarterfinal match between Kim Clijsters and Martina Hingis. They played at the French Open as well. Not comfortable at the net. But now she knows what it's like to play Hingis, having to put the ball away more than once or twice in rallies.
And reputations can haunt any player in any sport, and for Lena, even though she has some big wins and she's moved into the top 20 in the world, the reputation of not closing out, finishing the job, is following her, and this could be yet another case in point. After winning the first set, having many chances to break Hingis and take the second, here she is down love 4 in the final set. And she now's battling with that tough son serving at that end. Yeah, she needed that. And that has been the one reliable shot, that backhand winner.
Just hard to do this every single time.
Yeah, then she comes back with a wild backhand and 2 more break points for Hingis. And these, in essence, are match points. Yeah, that's a shame. She's played a lot of good tennis, but boy, under pressure here in the final set, it's all Martina Hingis. And where did Lena's game go?
The world is advancing faster and faster. Are you in or out? Introducing the all-new 7-passenger Acura MDX. Technology takes it to a whole new place. Acura. Advance.
This March, the battle for absolute supremacy will finally be settled. And this time, the champion could be you. Grab your ticket to AbsolutePoker.net's final battle for the Absolute Dream Package. You could win a seat in 10 huge events with prize pools totaling over $100 million, a starring role in the world's biggest cash game, and a week in Vegas with AbsolutePoker.net Pro The Grinder, the world's #1 player. Want to live the dream? Free daily qualifiers are on now. The Absolute Dream Package, now playing at AbsolutePoker.net.
Yeah, you see the overview there, Rod Laver and the Melbourne Park Vodafone, and then off in the distance there, the big stadium, the Melbourne Cricket Grounds. 100,000 fans can be accommodated there. Quite a complex. And it's in this area that the 1956 Olympic Games were held. And these facilities that you've seen are all new. There still is the main stadium, big swimming facility that's within a few hundred yards of Rod Laver Arena. Yeah, Hingis is swimming. Her opponent has been sinking. And she has just cleverly let her opponent beat herself in this final set.
What she does so often.
And another error that takes Lena to 67 unforced errors in the match. She does have 32 winners. But you compare that with Hingis, 8 winners, 18 unforced. Just playing another clean match.
And I mentioned earlier, Dick, when I saw Hingis a couple days ago and told her, well done, you're playing great. She says, well, I haven't had to do too much, just get the ball back. Well, that's what she does so well.
That is her game. 2 points from victory, 30-15. And contributing yet another error, Lena. As Hingis works on a love final set for the quarterfinals.
Look at her stance, way over on the deuce side.
And there it is. Martina Hingis advances. She's in the last 8 of this 2007 championship. And when she comes to Melbourne, she knows the way. Does she have the key to another Australian Open trophy? The way the favorites have fallen, we could well have an upset winner of this Australian Open title. She rallies from 4-6, 6-3, 6-love.
She was patient. She held her ground, waited for the right opportunity to make her move, and now she's to another quarterfinals, waiting for the winners of Kleister and Hantuchova coming up next. Kleister's a heavy favorite. That's a tough matchup for Martina Hingis, but never underestimate the Swiss. This is her favorite Grand Slam of the year.
And a discouraging afternoon for Lena, who started so well and produced some terrific shots, especially from that backhand side. But then her game crumbled under the pressure, the constant pressure of Martina Hingis. Just ball back, and finally forcing her opponent to suffer through a rash of errors and ultimately a 6-love loss in the final set. Martina Hingis through to the quarterfinals.
Come on, jump in.
Hingis is kind of present when her opponent melts down. So how much of that is good fortune? How much of it just the kind of tennis she's playing, forcing the errors?
I think as Mary Jo said, obviously you got to give Martina credit for that, Chris, because she's playing with consistency. She's moving well. But I still don't think that she can get over the big hitters. I don't think she has enough weaponry in her game. And I look at the stats, I see Martina Hingis had just 8 winners in the match. That's not going to be enough against Kim Clijsters in the quarterfinals. I expect Clijsters to win this next match. So for Hingis to get that next step, Chris, that was really the big question when she came back. You knew she could get back to the top 10, but to get to that next level, she's got to add some meat, some beef to some of her shots. Can she do it? And from the quarterfinals on, that's the big question. I don't think she can.
All right, after Clijsters, who's playing her farewell Aussie Open before she retires to being a housewife, nothing wrong with that, against Hentukova. We'll have James Blake and Fernando Gonzalez for you. Talk about a shot-making display. These two guys, hit the ball huge. The cover may be flying off the tennis ball in that match, but they've also added a lot more dimension to their games.
It'd be dangerous to be a linesman in this match,
yeah.
a linesperson, I should say, because both players have one of the biggest forehands in the business. But yes, Chris, you're right. They've added other dimensions to their game. We showed you Gonzalez earlier using the slice backhand, also hitting the backhand down the line as well. And that's something that's made just a huge difference in James Blake's game. He's serving a lot better, and he's taking the backhand down the line a lot better. This has really been the key, I think, to his success. He's playing with a lot more composure. His intensity is a little more consistent throughout the course of a big match. But boy, I think if Blake hits the backhand down the line today well, Chris, that gives him a huge advantage because Gonzalez likes to cheat a little bit so he can run around and hit that forehand side. So if Blake can take it to him early, look particularly for Blake to try to jump on Gonzo's second serve. If he can do that, which Leighton Hewitt did not do in that previous round, I think Blake gets through this match.
And Blake just tries to crush almost every second serve return. He's got it through to this round without losing his set, but Blake's the first one to tell you it's been tight, it's been competitive against his good buddy Robbie Ginepri in the previous round. Ginepri had set points in the first and second set, but Blake was able to raise the level, come up with some huge high-risk shots to win those first two sets.
Yeah, and high risk is right, but you feel like Blake believes he can make them at the appropriate time, Chris, and that's just what he's doing. Ginepri, as you said, came out on fire. I expect to see very good things from Robbie Ginepri this year. I think he's going to bounce back and be knocking on the door of the top 10. But Blake, there again, using the backhand up the line to set things up. This was set point in the opening set. Another big backhand right there. He wins the first set in the tiebreak. Second set, Ginepri had a bunch of set points on his serve for
cross court. Oy. So that stops the rock. Clijsters will be serving. Set it 4-3 when we come back.